I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. It. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
Here we go. Welcome in another edition of the Daily Punch Up. It is Friday, August 22nd. We made it through potentially another week. We go live every day at 10 o'clock. But it does not matter if you listen live or you listen later. It's all on the same platforms, ladies and gentlemen. We are on X. We are on YouTube. Live show also on the Puck Sports mobile app, live at 10 a.m. If you don't have the Puck Sports mobile app, download it today from your favorite app store. Once the show is over, up on YouTube, just search Puck Sports. Also, you can find everything up on all the podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, wherever you find your podcast. And, of course, up at pucksports.com. We are broadcasting from the Limback Lumber Studios. They are with us from the very beginning, and they're going to take care of you and all your lumber needs. Contractors, they offer free deliveries from everything from whole house packages to homeowner DIY projects. Give them a call, 206-782-3487. Visit them at limbacklumber.com. Follow me on all the social media channels. We love it. X, Instagram, and Blue Sky Puck Sports. Puck_sports on TikTok. And, of course, you can find us on Facebook as well. You can also sign up to become a member of the Puck's Posse community. Click on that QR code on your screen or go to pucksports.com. You become a member, get full access to all the shows, and also becoming a member directly supports pucksports.com for just $5 a month. Any issues, email me, puck@pucksports.com. We'll talk Seahawks brawl. Chris Egan will join us momentarily. In our other news segment, we'll get to that. The scout will join us, and we wrap up everything with Hey, What the Puck. I am done talking. Ladies and gentlemen, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, he's brought to you by an army of advertisers. It is the go-to guy, Jimmy Moore.
Yeah, it's an army, all right. I'm pleased to announce that Brotherton Cadillac and Brotherton Buick GMC is sponsoring my appearances Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at Brotherton. They're proud to be a fourth-generation family-owned dealership, and it's not just the business that's been generational. They're also 4 generations deep at Washington State University. Whether you're up north or down south, there's a Brotherton location nearby. In the north end, visit Brotherton Cadillac Northwest on Aurora and Shoreline. In the south end, you'll find Brotherton Buick GMC and Brotherton Cadillac in Renton, just off 405. Or check out brothertonauto.com. It doesn't matter. Wherever you land, you'll get the same local experience and commitment to quality they built their name on at Brotherton Cadillac and Brotherton Buick GMC. Also want to thank Brian Turner at A Clean Streak professional window and exterior cleaning service out of Oak Harbor, serving Island and Skagit counties for more than 10 years. Now expanding to Snohomish County, too. Whatever you have, gutter cleaning, roof cleaning, pressure washing, window washing, they'll do it all for you. Just give them a call. Ask for Brian. Just say, hey, man, I want to talk to Brian. Brian will pick up the phone, 360-395-5748, or visit acleanstreak.com.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen, the go-to guy with the hair looking great today on this Friday. Also, again, a reminder, Chris Egan is coming up shortly. I thought we moving forward on Fridays, we'd have Egan come on earlier, and really just to make up for you.
Oh, okay.
I'm joking.
No, well, it's not
I
funny.
love Egan, and I thought you love Egan too, and we want more of Egan, don't we?
I do love Egan.
Yeah,
I do. Chris is he's always got great stories. He's always traveling around somewhere. That when I listened to this segment when he was talking about getting home from Cooperstown and everything he had to go through.
Oh,
it was insane.
Well, I guess this last week, I didn't know this. He was in Kentucky. Did you know that? Mm-hmm. See, I just
saw that on his Twitter timeline, dropping off his son there at a school there in Louisville.
Yeah, so he's got a lot of funny tales. He tells me that from Kentucky, food, bourbon.
You ever been there? You been to Louisville?
I have not. I have not been there. No, you?
I was there in 1982, and my first wife and I traveled around the country in the summer. And I wanted to see Churchill Downs. It's on my bucket list. I want to go to the Kentucky Derby sometime.
Okay, so you traveled.
Louisville, though, honestly, it's not kind of a Well, I don't know. I don't want to rip Louisville, but it's not like I feel like I got to go back to Louisville, but I'd like to be there for the Kentucky Derby sometime.
Go ahead and rip it. It's fine. We're not big in Louisville.
Name the most famous athlete from Louisville.
Oh, it's easy. Cassius Clay.
Muhammad Ali, pal.
Well, when he was born in Louisville, his name was Cassius Clay.
Okay. I didn't think that would be that easy for you.
Jesus.
You weren't old enough to watch him, though, were you?
Oh, I was born in 1975.
I was already in 1975. I was let's see, freshman year. Well, wait a minute, you weren't born until late, so it was sophomore year at Washington State, and we were making that 8-mile trip over to Moscow to the billiard den to play foosball and to punch J5 on the jukebox so we could listen to Tush by ZZ Top. We just dollar pitchers back then in 1975 at the billiard den. $1 pitcher.
$1.
The whole pitcher for $1.
The whole pitcher for one
at happy hour.
American dollar.
Happy hour.
Yeah. Did you go to one of these places to watch Ali and Foreman on like a pay-per-view?
I would do that, yeah. And then, when I couldn't watch the fights,
did you do it? I'm asking you. No, you could. Did you do it? Do you remember
the rope-a-dope fight?
Yeah. Do you remember watching that?
I remember watching the rope-a-dope fight.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I do. I was never an Ali fan, though. I appreciated how good he was.
Why?
But I wanted Joe Frazier to just beat the hell out of him every time they got together. I was a Joe Frazier guy. I didn't like the way Ali talked to him. Ali was ahead of his time with the trash talking. I mean, he was the original trash talker.
So you never liked, okay, but we're not talking about Frazier. I'm talking about Foreman. But you didn't like the way he talked to Foreman or Frazier or both of them?
Yeah, I don't know. It just really bothered me more the way he treated Joe Frazier. I didn't, I wasn't a huge Foreman guy either, but.
Okay. But you weren't an Ali guy. Huh.
No, I wasn't an Ali guy.
Interesting.
I remember I went to the old Seattle Center Coliseum. I went to see Boone Kirkman, who I think he had some weird bout with George Foreman where there were 4 fighters that Foreman took on in one night and he beat them all. But Boone Kirkman, he's a Renton legend, heavyweight legend around here.
Did he ever?
You've heard the name Boone Kirkman, haven't you?
No, I have not. No, I have not.
You've never heard of Boone Kirkman?
No one in our audience has.
No, you're wrong about that. Somebody chat it.
What's his name?
Some oldster like me hit the chat thing, and you've heard of Boone Kirkman. Come on.
Yeah, this is a good point. I'm going to have Egan weigh in on this one because what we've learned this week, and Antonio's right, you hated Ali and you hate male cheerleaders. Jesus.
I do. I'm not a fan of male cheerleaders. You're right, Antonio. You're right. I'm not a fan of that.
What's the name of the fighter again?
Boone Kirkman. Google him. He'll Wikipedia there.
Boone Kirkman.
He's from the 253. He's from your area.
Does anyone know who Boone Kirkman is? I'm asking our audience.
So nothing. We're getting nothing.
Oh, I think there's someone that maybe knows who I've never heard of. I remember the only fighter that I know, and you know what? As we bring in the one and only from King 5, he joins us on Fridays, Chris Egan, because the most famous fighter, Egan, that I remember coming out of this state was kind of down in your neck of the woods. Auburn, Washington, the home of?
Lead us there, my friend.
Come on.
Is that a way for you that you don't remember his name?
Greg Haugen.
Yes. The Mutt. The Mutt. You were introducing it. I didn't want to take your thunder. The Mutt.
Yeah.
And I'm literally coming out of the fight capital of the world. Just arrived from Louisville, the home of Muhammad Ali. So I've been surrounded by plenty of boxing memoirs over the last 3 days. But I am sorry, Jim. I do pride myself in knowing a lot of Northwest sports history. I love it when I can go into Louisville and I can drop a name like Peyton Siva, the great battles of Peyton Siva versus Tony Roten, and throw those names out. But Jim, I do not recall this boxer from Renton in my Encyclopedia of Pacific Northwest history. So the only other person that may know this would be Mark Blau, who I believe knows more about Pacific Northwest sports history than anyone. But
you know who could write, if we texted him right now and we said to this individual, we need Jim, in the writing world, what's a lot of 1,000 words? Is that a lot for an article?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's typical. I think a column is probably 800 words.
So if we texted Bob Condota right now, in 10 minutes he could pump out a 1,000 word column on Boone Kirkman, guaranteed.
Well, and this just pounds home the point that I'm an oldster at 68. I think anybody who's 68 who grew up in Seattle would know who Boone Kirkman is. But then Egan, you're what, 51, and Puck, you're
52.
49.
Yeah. So
50.
Yeah, Bob would do it, Jason, he'd be like, after grabbing a maple bar at Renton's famous maple bar place, he headed to the gym at 7 a.m. What's the maple bar place in Renton, by the way?
The one
Chuck's Donuts. Chuck's Donuts.
Oh,
John Clayton's favorite spot.
Oh, thank you, Jim. Yeah, that place is amazing.
Daniel Victor Boone Kirkman.
I just Googled his name and look at him. He comes up. He's like this in the picture.
Obviously, he'd come up if you Googled his name. So would your name if you Googled it. Jesus, are you new to the internet? He was born.
Hey, fuck off, okay?
I Googled it. He showed up. Well, of course he's going to show
Boone
up.
Kirkman was a legend around here. I'm telling you that. This is why you have me on, because I can go farther back than you guys.
What does Jim Moore make? Who's Jim Moore's hot wife? What's Jim Moore's dog's name?
You Google my name and you get Pink's dad. Pink's dad's name is Jim Moore.
Oh.
Pink, Pink. I know you guys have heard of Pink. I'm surprised
singer?
that I have. I saw Pink in the Tacoma Dome once.
Yeah,
she was the lead act for NSYNC.
I
went to NSYNC.
What the?
Where are we going with this today?
Tell me more about Boone Kirkman. Come on.
When I type in Jim Moore, the first thing that comes up is your Twitter handle, and then baseball reference. There was a Jim Moore that played baseball. Then there's a head coach, Jim Moore, at Oregon. Yes, I do see the Jim Moore singer Pink's father, but that's like one of the things that are way down on the list. Boone Kirkman, born February 6, 1945. He spent his entire career based in Seattle, Washington. 6'1", 210 pounds. However, he was born in Vallejo, California,
and made the move to Renton.
He moved. When his father was discharged from the Navy, and they moved the family to Renton, Washington.
Renton,
Washington. Kirkman's favorite activities, according to his Wikipedia page early on, were hunting, fishing, and hiking throughout the state of Washington with his father. He frequently stopped to view plant and animal life, earning himself his lifelong nickname of Boone.
No, his nickname.
I'm laughing because
Boom Boom.
I'm laughing because Jim, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you were doing radio on that one radio station, couple radio stations ago, didn't you go to Wikipedia for an interview and the person?
Oh yeah. It was Mike Montgomery, the Stanford coach.
Oh God.
And so I'm working with Calabro, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to Wikipedia to try and find some fun facts out about him. And somebody went in there and doctored his Wikipedia page and said he was like a black belt martial arts guy. So I asked him about that. And there was those awkward pauses that we've all had before. That one was really awkward. And then he kind of comes back with, let me ask you something, Jim. Do I look like a martial arts kind of guy to you?
See, and Jim, and I'm not brown nosing you here this morning, Jim, but this is what we miss about sports radio are moments like that. What do you think I remember? I remember that moment. I don't remember He's running a 5-yard out with a 2-yard in. He's
I don't know about this three tech defensive tag. I don't know. I just don't think this 3-tech's going to work out. But he works better in this 5 and 6 and 7, 8 tech.
I don't remember that, but I do remember Jim Moore asking Mike Montgomery about black belt.
You want a great fun fact about Boone Kirkman.
Yeah.
He following let's see, he
quite a Wikipedia page.
It's a great. He assumed in 1965 is really when he blew up. He later assumed co-ownership of his family's pub. You know what the family's pub was?
No.
I believe I don't know if it's still there, but it morphed into something else. The Melrose Tavern.
Oh, no.
The Melrose Grill is a good spot.
It's now the Melrose Grill, right?
I've been there. I've taken the kids there. Awesome steakhouse.
Reasonably priced steaks there.
So that's
a great spot.
Kirkman spot. The Melrose, once the Melrose Tavern, now the Melrose Grill. Now, remind me, it's been a few years since I've been there. Is it in the train, the caboose?
Yeah, no. It's downtown.
It's right downtown Renton.
It's white with a green trim. The last time I was there,
that's right.
Kind of a corner lot. And I took the whole family there. Luke Egan's birthday, and we all had steaks and baked potatoes, and loved it.
Yeah. Affordable. Jim is right. It's affordable.
There's so many places where the steaks are out of control, what they're charging you, but not at the Melrose Grill.
Melrose Grill. So we should all go there and get some Boone Kirkman t-shirts and be like, is Boone here?
Well, Jim is bringing us.
Boone's nowhere now.
You know what, Jim? I don't usually leave every day feeling educated, but today I am, and I thank you. I'm going to drop that knowledge on the sports.
God, I knew some Seattle history that Chris Egan didn't know about.
I never heard of the name, but now I know. So.
I'm sensing a story on King 5 with photographer
Tate Miller. Tate Miller from Wazoo. You're
going down to the Melrose to do a story on a guy that was 36-6.
By the way, you throw the name Tate Miller, and since I'm on with two of the greatest Cougs, and I think Tate Miller is also one of the greatest Cougs.
He's up there. He's up there.
Have I ever told you the story at Husky Stadium? We're doing a half-an-hour show, preview show last year. I think they were playing Michigan, and Tate Miller's the photographer with me, and Pat Chun is making his way towards me, and I tell our producer, like, hey, Pat Chung's coming. He's like, oh, grabbing a one-on-one interview with him, and we'll put it on the show. And all of a sudden, Pat gets up. Hey, Pat, how are you doing? Good. I go, do you got time for an interview? And he goes, yeah, let's do it. And I look up, and Tate Miller has left the building. Tate Miller did not want to be part of that interview. So
Tate. Good for Tate.
He walked away.
Great.
Pat Chun might be the worst Coug ever.
He's not a Coug. He never was.
Well, he was a Coug, but he's got to be the worst ever.
He was.
Oh.
I mean, I used to give Dick Barrett a hard time about that being a traitor, but Pat Chun, I mean, that's scum of the earth stuff, what he did.
Yeah.
What?
I can make an argument that Baird's worse than him.
Okay, what is it?
Well, he went to school. He went to school there. He got a scholarship from the school. He played football for the school. Then, like, any moment he gets, he craps all over it.
Yeah,
I think that could be worse.
He tried to get a job on the coaching staff there at Washington State and wasn't able to get one, and so got one at Washington. Okay. And Dick is such a lovable guy. But what's lovable about Pat Chun? And then he does that dumbass W thing, with his fingers, like
I can't even do that. By the way, I don't know how to do that. But
if he'd taken any other job anywhere, it doesn't matter. He could any school in the country. I can tell Puck's ready to move on here, but
no, I'm not.
If he took any job anywhere else, no one would have batted an eye, and they would have said, "Hey, Pat, thanks for what you did here in Pullman."
Hey, but don't you write? Can you write one of those fictional kind of columns and just pretend like you're interviewing Pat Chun?
Oh,
fictional columns.
Okay. Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, I do those with
I love
Egan.
those.
I do those every once in a while with like Root Sports and what I would really want them to say instead of the sugar coating that they always do.
And Egan, as you would expect, these go over really well with them.
Oh, I'm sure they love them.
Oh God, Shannon hated me for. She still does. She hates me. She hates me for the words that I made up that she was saying.
Yeah. So, but can do one about old Chunner. Hey, and the premise of it is. The premise of it is the outlook of this year 2 in the Big Ten.
Well, I can do it Apple Cup week. That'd be a perfect time to do it.
You could do it Apple Cup week or make it your college football preview. My sit down with Pat Chun.
There you go.
You have to change his name a little bit, or can you? How does that work?
I don't know.
Can he sue you for libel? Hey, Pat, when you were inside the courtroom battling for the Cougars' life, was that the moment you decided to stab them in the back and go to the rival school? You goddamn right I did, Jim. I couldn't wait to get the fuck out of there. Something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
all
I like the idea there.
Moving on, Cougars. Happy time. The sun's out. It's a beautiful weekend in the Northwest, guys.
Yeah, okay. Sugarcoat what's going on with the Mariners, Egan. You're the only one possible.
I've been out of town, so I've missed it. Here's the thing.
Egan, we'll decide when we move on.
Yeah. I will sugarcoat before I forget, guys. A shout out to the 2 girls in my life, my wife and my daughter. This is where some parents are proud of their kids when they do well in sports or school. And sure, I've had those moments, but I was in Louisville for 4 days and I get home and I've never been more proud of my daughter because you know why? The yard looks better than when I left it. She mowed everything. She watered everything. I mean, it just
wow.
That's allowed.
I'm beaming with pride, Puck. My daughter just took it on her own and did everything. And then my beautiful wife. We go to Louisville, guys, and I'm going to admit I'm not a big whiskey bourbon drinker, but when you're in Louisville, that's what you drink is whiskey and bourbon, old fashions at every meal. And I don't know how many I ordered and how many my wife finished, but my wife is a trooper. She is a hardcore legend. There's a picture, guys, and I can't lie here on social media. I want to come clean on this show of when you're in Kentucky, and it's some fried chicken, it's some mac and cheese, and it's an old fashioned. And I'm going to come clean on this show and tell you right now, Jim Moore. That was my wife's old fashioned. My blackberry lemonade was off to the side a little bit. So, a salute to Mel Egan, the real diehard of the family.
Chris.
Well, the blackberry lemonade was really good.
Hey, what do you think of Louisville? Because I was kind of trashing the city a little while ago.
Sure. I loved it. We went to none of the touristy spots. We found some places, this Buck's restaurant, which was absolutely amazing. I thought the people were incredible. Downtown, it was quiet, but it was clean. It was, it was friendly. I thought it was a great city. And it's kind of fun I've never been to Kentucky before. When we're in Seattle, we are kind of up in the corner away from everything except Portland. When you're there, you're 2 hours from Indianapolis, hour and a half from Cincinnati, hour from Lexington, hour and a half from Nashville. There's just so many places you can go. I thought it was a fun town. I was only there obviously for 4 days, but I loved it. The food was absolutely amazing. Why don't we put honey on our chicken in the state of Washington? I'm going to start that trend if it hasn't started already. That was absolutely delicious. You pour honey on your fried chicken. Does anybody else do that here?
No, I'm showing that chicken and waffles combo can't be beat.
I'm showing a picture on the video of the photo that Egan sent me.
Okay.
Of the chicken with the honey and the mac and cheese, and apparently that is Mel Egan's cocktail.
Yeah.
Where your huckleberry lemonade is not quite pictured in there.
Was very good, the huckleberry lemonade.
What did you feel like less of a man when she got the old fashioned and you got the huckleberry lemonade?
I think I felt like less of a man the night before we both ordered old fashions, and it just I loved it. It's a sipping drink for me. But I looked over and I got half left and she is done. So
Ready for another one, huh?
yeah, and so she finished mine, Jim, and I went to more of a mojito.
What do you think hey Jim, what do you think the bartender in Kentucky thought when Egan's like, can I get I'd like to see you over there muddle those leaves. Can I get a mojito?
Well, I put my drink on Twitter, and a couple of people said, what's your choice? What's your weapon? And I'm like, I looked at my wife like, what do they mean? She goes, what type of bourbon and whiskey do you like? I go, there's like multiple. I learned a lot. I'm 52. I'm still learning. Yeah. So there you go.
An overall good trip. So tell everyone why you were in Kentucky.
Great
Maybe
trip.
Your son's going to school.
Austin Egan got a scholarship to pitch for Bellarmine University. They're a Division I school out of Louisville. They're a mid-major. Good, strong conference. Great school. I would compare it to the Gonzaga in the state of Washington, private school. I mean, when you're in Kentucky, Louisville and Kentucky are the two big schools, but Bellarmine, very good school to get a good education, good baseball program. I mean, their non-conference program, they're going to play LSU, Louisville, Kentucky, Tennessee. So I'm excited to get some tickets to go watch Bellarmine play LSU and baseball and watch, the national champs. Who knows? My kid could be pitching against the defending national champs.
And you don't got to pay for school. What a great time! What a great
yeah. So I'm proud of him. He's worked hard. And these guys, a lot of pressure on them. It's 16 credits, and you're. It's not baseball in the spring, as Jim. It's from the day you get to school till the day the playoffs are over. So, but he still loves the game, and. That's, I guess, if I was to look back at, and I'm watching these little leaguers, and I know some of these parents are just all in, and that's all they do all year long is baseball, baseball, baseball. And every kid's a different story, but my older kids, it was about playing multiple sports so they would never burn out of sports. And so they would just, our hopes was they'd be peaking when they got to college and still love the game. And both of them do. And so I guess I just would express that, just be careful to some of these younger parents that are really going all in on one sport so young, because I need to do a survey, honestly, guys, because I want to take some of these last three little league teams out of Washington and look at the rosters and then tuck them away and then look in 6 years to see where these kids are at, because you'll see a couple names in the majors, but I just fear some of these kids are just putting, they're just not getting swim time, birthday time, lake time, friend time, golfing time, camping time, time with the dog. It's just baseball 7 days a week, or it's softball 7 days a week, or volleyball 7 days a week. I just saw a story on a kid has to quit because too many knee surgeries. It's just like, I don't know. So that's, like I said, each kid's their own story. But for mine, it worked out that they did multiple sports because they really love their sports now in college.
Hey, what did Jim? I don't know if you saw this story. You weren't on last Friday, and I had John Manley on from the Tacoma News-Tribune. Maybe you heard about this. Egan, you probably are aware of this.
Well, I was with you on the show. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. God, we already talked to you about this.
Yeah.
Jim, there's two kids down in Tacoma who, by the way, appear to be great kids. And it's not a comment on them. They have signed.
And a great business. I looked into the business. It looks like a great business.
There's a burger place in Tacoma, and these football player from Mount Tahoma and Lincoln have signed NIL deals with this burger restaurant. You would take some money if you had to just go on. If you were 17 now and hey, just go on Twitter, or they're not on Twitter, Instagram, and pump up this burger joint. You would do it for some cash in your pocket, some free burgers, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, without a doubt. I guess I'm surprised and not surprised. I guess high school, and then what's next? Middle school, and then is there going to be a phenom in elementary school at some point?
Well, probably. Well, there's going to be somebody like a little league kid that you just brought up, like the Little League World Series. There'll be some 12-year-old that's be brought to you by Marucci.
Well, I mean, do you guys ever remember speaking of that, Jim, I remember Eric Johnson did that story on the featherweight basketball kid, like 5th grade. He was supposed to
remember
be
that.
I don't remember the guy. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't really remember
He ended up, hold on, I remember who you're talking about.
You know who I'm talking about,
He ended up transferring, I believe, and finished his high school career at Garfield.
Okay.
Oh,
but no call. Yeah, I'll have to look that up. I mean, I'm saying that, but I just don't remember hearing him much about him in college or.
Well, these high school kids, though, it wasn't like an enticement for them to go to a different high school, was it?
No,
aren't they just at their high schools and they're getting the NIL deal, not because they're transferring or anything like that?
Yeah. And then you hear some of these, and I feel so bad for some of these kids now on their Instagram. They're posting everything. Look at me working out. Look at me. I'm lifting weights at 6 a.m. Oh, look at, I just dunked the basketball. Oh my gosh. John Calipari is going to see this on my Instagram and sign me. And then you hear these college coaches say, we're not even recruiting high school kids anymore. Sorry. There's so many kids in the transfer portal. We're just looking at these 22, 23-year-olds. And I'm just like, I don't know. It's just I feel bad for these kids nowadays with social media and all this crap. I mean, it's just they're trying and they're just trying too hard.
What is that kid's? This is going to drive me crazy.
You know
now
what
that
I'm
you
talking
brought
about, right?
Yes.
I feel like Eric Johnson featured the guy like 3 times.
Thank you to Brian Graham. God, Brian, you're great.
We love Brian.
Jay Augusta.
Yes.
Augusto. Jay Sean Augusto.
Can you Wikipedia him to see?
I'm gonna do it. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Maybe he's part of
the martial arts.
I mean, maybe he went on and did some great things. I just remember that
I think he did. I think he went to college. I think he actually did go to college.
Okay, well then good.
So was he a little hero? Is that what Eric was doing with him?
Yeah, even bigger than a little hero. I think he got his own superhero.
Jim, he was like 2'8", and I remember they brought him on, and he was just this he was like 5 or 6 or something. And that
was Eric Johnson doing Paulsbo RV commercials. I think I saw him on the other day.
No way. Is he?
He was doing some type of commercial.
Remember when Don James did those too?
Eric Johnson.
Good for Eric.
He ended up playing 4 years.
Okay.
At Long Island.
Okay.
Long
Island
there you
University.
go.
There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, good. Okay. I retract there a little bit. I just remember we did so much on this guy. And,
he's a pro trainer.
Okay. Well, he's done well then. Okay.
This guy, yeah. Well, yeah. You want to apologize now? I mean,
I did. I retracted. I retracted. Maybe a little hero. Where are they now? Would have helped me out.
What? Well, now I want to find the story when he did it. If I can find the video or the story, this is going to be great. Do we think it was a little hero segment?
No, I think it was his own. I really do.
Okay. KOMO. 4 News.
Another Wazoo photographer, I think it was Doug Pigsley, possibly, that shot that story.
Doug Pigsley.
Doug's a
Look
great
at me, just dropping names
that no one knows. I mean, come on.
Yeah, Boone Kirkman. Now this.
Love me some Doug Pigsley, but
no, Doug's great.
Jim knows him.
Yeah. I know him. I know who Doug is.
Okay.
Doug's great. I think I might have found it. Yeah, I did. How do I share this? Can I share this somehow? Hold on. I think
he's really good at dribbling, if I recall the story.
Yeah, he was a great dribbler. Am I going to get in trouble for sharing this? I don't think so. Hold on. Is this entertaining to anyone? Is anyone entertained?
Are you entertained? That's the
I am, but I just want to know if anybody else is entertained.
I think there's a lot of people, Puck, they're going, yeah, I remember that story.
Oh, there it is. Hold on. Eric's Little Heroes. There
he is. Where's he at right there, you think?
They think about it. Most importantly, they work on it. The kid you're about to meet just turned 11 years old, and you know what? He is going to blow you away.
Look at Eric. He looks good.
Jay Sean Augusto, 5th grader basketball player. Seems like your average kid, right? You have no idea how not average this kid is. But just to give you some idea, we're going to show you the workout he does every single night from 4 o'clock until 8 o'clock.
Is this coming through or not?
Between his legs and makes it. He dribbles behind his back, left and then right.
Wow.
Nothing yet. How about behind the back and
5th grader.
legs?
The shorts are the best part. He's in 5th grade.
breathing. How about behind the back and through the legs every
They taught
which
that at
way?
McDonald's
How about
basketball
behind the
camp,
back
that move.
and through the legs
James
every
Donaldson
which
taught
way
that.
while he's moving?
That was big at the
Hey,
Andy
hold
Russo
on.
basketball
About
camp,
two
too.
basketballs
Lenny Wilkens
instead of
basketball
one.
camp.
2 balls
Bob
dribbling.
Bender?
Maybe
Bob wouldn't
2
be
balls
bothered to do it.
between the legs. Would you
Oh.
believe 2 balls behind
Look
the
at
back
that.
Look at
and
that.
through the legs
That's like
while
NBC
moving?
camp does that today.
Come
We're
on.
just getting started, my friend. Just getting started. 2
Donald
balls,
Watts
big
can't even do
bounces
that.
and baby bounces behind
Doug
the back
Pigsley,
and
just
through the
great
legs.
wipes.
2
Look at those
balls,
wipes.
round
You don't
and
see those
round and
today.
round
No, you
and
don't.
round. 2 balls changing hands
Enough
every
of that
single
wipe.
bounce.
Change
Look
it
at
up.
this
All right,
guy.
2
Can
balls changing
young
hands
Luke
every single
Egan do
bounce
this?
And not
Oh.
even looking.
No, Luke needs to
Jay
watch
Sean's
this story.
Yeah,
not
Luke
average.
Egan
His
could be
dad
the next Jay
swears
Sean
he doesn't
Augusta.
push his son into this.
People think that I may push him to do.
Yeah.
I don't push him. He
Why did
actually
he go to
wants
black
to
and
do
white
it
there, Pigsley? Why did
and
we go to
looks for
color
me
and
to
right
guide
and
his
That's a great
development
question.
to help him get better. It amazes me that
Okay, that's enough. Okay, I'm done.
You
Why
know
did
what,
we?
Pug? We should. This could be a new segment where we critique stories every Friday.
Well, why did Pigsley go from where everything was in color, then the dad got 15 or 5 seconds, then it went black and white?
It didn't make any sense because if you do that, are we going back in time? Was that an interview from 8 years ago? I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
But Pigsley's won a lot of heavy. So did Eric Johnson. So maybe that was a move.
Man, I don't know what we've accomplished today.
Absolutely zero. But it's been fun.
Hey, you've got an anniversary, not you, but your parents.
60th anniversary, gentlemen. There's Muhammed Ali again. 60
That's
years.
awesome.
And Jim, I tell you what, I've never been more proud. My 83-year-old father, we took him up to Alaska. Puck and I talked about this, and he had to walk like 75 stairs to get to our cabin. He never complained. We're in a boat one day with 15-foot swells. You know, he's
That
jumping
sounded
up and
really
down.
scary. I heard you
You
talking
know,
about that.
It was only one day, but I mean, I'm telling you what, I told my wife, if I'm 83 and I could go fish in Alaska and do that, then sign me up for, whatever got them there. But my mom is, she is the queen of the family. So I'm excited. We're going to celebrate their anniversary tonight with the family. So happy anniversary, Mom and Dad.
Do they have a secret to their success for their longevity, being a married couple?
You know what? I will say this. They were not, and I've tried to do this. They were tough on us kids. I think a lot of parents want to be their kids' friends all the time. And my parents did some things that didn't want me to be their friend, and but I think they also, when my sister graduated, she was a basketball runner. She was below me, and my dad followed me in my tennis and basketball career a lot. And then my sister was a really good runner and basketball player, and she ran at Seattle University. And when she graduated and all the sports were done, I can still remember like that period where my dad was a little depressed, like, and then it became about them. They went on cruises. They still go on cruises to this day. They travel everywhere. Then they become awesome grandparents as well. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what their secret is, but they definitely do things together a lot. And, I give them a lot of praise. They're incredible parents and grandparents as well, too. So, but they weren't easy on us, Jim, early on, but that's okay. It made us tough.
Well, that's great, Chris. I'm the opposite end of the spectrum with that. And I wrote something at jimmoorethegotoguy.substack.com if anyone's interested. Being a friend to your kids rather than a parent. And I erred on the side of being more of a friend than a dad. Yeah. And then I would argue, though, that my kids have turned out okay. So there's different ways to be a parent.
No, I agree with you, Jim. I think I'm more of a friend with my kids. And now, I mean, I think my mom and we talk every day, and, my dad and I are close. But yeah, I think there's definitely different ways to parent. Sure. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they did. They were all.
But
hold on.
You're at a loss for words there.
Yeah, I think we've reached a point here with Egan. He needs to lay down on the couch. There might be some father-son issues here that we need to get out. And
Egan, I think my philosophy was just I wanted to spend time with my kids. Sure. That's it. That's the only thing I did was like I spent time with my kids and whatever else.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't very strict. I wasn't a disciplinarian. I always tried to remember what I was doing. Like when Mikey or Stevie screwed up at 16, what was I doing at 16? I was doing dumbass stuff too,
Yep,
you know?
yep.
So I
You forget
factored that in. Yeah.
You forget what it was like to be their age.
Well,
A lot. And you think that you were some saint or you were doing everything right, and you weren't. You were being an idiot. I was an idiot when I was a teenager. I'm still am an idiot.
And I do give my parents a lot. My dad worked for Weyerhaeuser and traveled a ton. He was a safety engineer and was in charge of going to every single plant in the United States and making sure they were safe. So he traveled a lot. And, you know, I've had a career where I've had to travel too. And what he always would do though, is he would make sure that if he was home, you know, he wasn't out golfing with his buddies. He wasn't doing this with his friend. He was going to one of his kids' events, and he tried to get to all of our events. And we knew he couldn't get to everyone. And I've told that to my kids, like, Mom and Dad will try to get to all your events. We can't, but we're going to try to be there if we can. And he always, you know, he showed up in Hawaii once to watch one of my tennis matches, just flew out there for a day and then flew out. He flew into Tulsa, Oklahoma when I played at Nationals. And those are just moments I remember that, you know, he went out of his way. And those are things I try to do for my kids too. That, you know, so.
Yeah, I didn't want to be that Cats in the Cradle guy. Now tell me you've heard that song.
Oh, that song, I can't get through the whole thing because you get depressed thinking about that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About a dad that didn't spend enough time with his kids. And then once his kid was grown, he wanted to spend time with them then, but his kid was too busy for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, and that's why I told my wife, if my dad, you know, if he's 93 and wants to keep going to Alaska, sign me up. I'll keep going, you know, and hopefully I'll be doing the same thing with my boys and daughter as well too. So
What was the name of the lodge again, Egan?
We were up at Tanaku Lodge. Dennis Meyer, Susan Meyer, and Hayden. And I got to give a shout out to Hannah too. She's a nurse in Seattle. She was the one that originally kind of told me about this place, and she's one of the kids too. So,
Aren't they cougs too?
Yeah.
They're the mom is a big coug, and they used to have Jim, which was cool. I'm surprised you never came there. They used to have one week a year where it was all Washington State Cougars, and they would actually do a fundraiser there for the athletic department. Bill Moose would lead that up.
Well, the Daily Puck Drop at pucksports.com brought to you by Tanaku Lodge. You want to get away with your family, friends, get away from the hustle and bustle of the city, get away in nature and beauty, Tanaku Lodge.
And I think they just hauled in, Puck, a 304 pound halibut last week.
Sure, I bet they did.
And I also heard, Puck, they have artificial grass up there outside the lodge.
Well, of course they do, Jim, at Tanaku Lodge, because
that's in Montana.
Of course they do, because a good friend of the lodge is Mike Vanderveer, and of course Mike is the owner of Synthetic Turf Northwest and syntheticturf.com. And in fact, if you go right behind the Tanaku Lodge, and Egan probably didn't see it, there's a 15-hole putting green, the Tanaku Straits, that you can go and practice your putting when you're done a long day of fishing. You want to wind down with some bourbon and go out there and maybe get a little flat stick and hit that little white ball around. All brought to you by Synthetic Turf Northwest and syntheticturfnorthwest.com.
Can I confess an apology right there on that, Puck? Is because you mentioned behind the lodge. Egan probably didn't go back there, and I feel bad about what I'm about to say, because my brother-in-law, there was a walkway that stretched way behind the lodge.
Yes,
and we are at Elephant Cove, Chichikov Island, which has more brown bears than any per mile stretch than anywhere else in the world. And my brother-in-law is like, "Hey, Chris, you want to go walk around the boardwalk?" And I'm like, No, I don't. And he went, and maybe I should feel bad that I let him go by himself.
Well, he's still with us, so you're good.
Yeah,
a brown bear didn't get him.
But I just when he left, I'm like, God, should I go? But I don't want to run into a brown bear. I'm going to be honest with you.
No one does. Hey, next week at this time. Now we're not doing no show next week. So, but no show next week.
What happened?
I'm taking. We got canceled finally. It was
okay. Did I mention the Seahawks Packers game's on King 5 tomorrow? By the way.
And I have it on the rundown of the Seahawks brawl, but we never got into the Seahawks brawl. That's my fault for not getting in it. How about that yesterday? I mean, have you seen the video of this?
It didn't air in Louisville, so I didn't see it. No,
this was pushing and shoving. There were fists being thrown, starters throwing fists. Ernest Jones and Devin Witherspoon. How stupid are you as a football player to throw fists when there's
no one gets hurt in a football fight?
Was Victor Robles in there anywhere?
But Jim, had they connected to this offensive lineman they're fighting with and bust their hand up, they're done.
Yeah,
just moronic.
It's like throwing sunflower seeds.
I'm out on these joint practices. This is 2 years in a row they've had the same thing. They did it last year with Tennessee. I'm out on this. I am out. It's dumb. It's a bad idea.
It should make for a great third preseason game, which you can watch tomorrow on King 5 TV, followed up by NASCAR.
What will be so great about it? Other than Jalen Milroe playing the whole game.
Jalen Milroe. You get Jalen Milroe. And you got Michael Bennett.
Yeah. Michael Bennett, Cliff Averill, Paul Sylvie.
Just the whole crew.
Michael Robinson, Scott. The foot doctor. He's
Are her glass? How is each week her glass is going to get bigger? Got some big glasses.
Oh,
she's got some big. I enjoy her though as a play-by-play, but she got big glasses.
Yeah, she does a good job.
I really enjoy her. Do you?
I do. This is where Jim thinks I'm lying. I do. I think she does a good job. Jim doesn't think she does a good job.
Egan didn't follow up there with the glasses comment.
No, I think, for some, I love what Angie's doing en route. And I also think Brad Adams does a nice job when he fills in.
Brad. You know what? Brad actually is pretty good. The TV stuff is fine, but I listen to a lot of the games on the radio. He's been, on that last road trip, he was filling in a lot on the radio and doing the color with Gary Hill. He was really good. I was like, you should actually just let him sit in there the entire time. But go ahead,
Jim. No, I'm just going to tell Jim I'm going to pretty much compliment every play-by-play person from here on out because we announced it last week on the show. I'll be streaming high school football this year. So after the 5 o'clock live shot, after the 6:45 live shot, I got 2 minutes to go to the bathroom and grab a water, and then I'll be doing play-by-play for high school football from 7 to 9:30 before the 9:45 live shot, followed by the 10:45, and then the 11:25 live shot. So 2.5 hours streaming live. Our first game, Jim, will be Graham Kapowison at Art Crate Stadium, taking on the Fighting Irish from O'Day, Monty Kohler. You know the name well, Jim. You should write an article on him.
Is he still coaching?
He's still coaching.
He's going for the record. He's going for
covering high school. I was covering high school football back in '89, and Monty Kohler was the coach.
He's going to bring the next win breaks the record of Sid Otten.
Yeah. He's going after Sid Otten's record. So it's not going to be easy to come down to Art Crate, though, and get that win there.
I think I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask you anyway. You have an increased workload at King 5. Was there a commensurate increase in pay for the increased workload?
And we'll talk to Egan next week.
They're asking you to do more. Shouldn't they pay you more?
Well, you know what I'm just kind of
bummed about
I usually took that 7 to 9 time frame to kind of, it's fun where you get to go out and mingle in the crowd, and like Jason Puckett's kids playing, I would go, hang out on the sidelines with him.
You could answer the question with yes or no instead of whatever you're saying right now.
Don't you answer it any way you want. He's trying to get you into trouble because this is his new.
I didn't ask if you mingled with the crowd during
his new thing in retirement life and this Substack. He's trying to ruin everyone's lives and make them miserable.
Well, including my own.
No, my own. But no one cares about your life. Everyone else has got lives.
I care about my life.
Jim, you want to know the best answer I can give you right now? I do it for the kids.
That's right. Okay. So 1 week from today, next week, the high school season gets underway with 7 games next week. I wanted to mention it. Next Saturday, by the way, the Kent Ridge Chargers begin their undefeated season Saturday afternoon against a powerhouse Foster. And then the
Bulldogs from Foster.
And then the big day, though, is September 5th.
You buried the lead there. Will the Chatelaines be performing?
Chatelaines will be performing, the greatest dance team of all time. Jim, there's no male.
They got
dance
boys on the
numbers
dance
it.
team there?
There's not. I know that angers you that there's boys. The big day is September 5th. 132 games across the state. And
Wow.
Egan will be covering O'Day and Graham Kapowson. And I'm telling you, you got to give me the schedule. I can't make it on the 5th, but I want to come and sit in with you.
You'll not only sit in, you'll be taking over. That's where I'm gonna maybe take the headset off and go get.
Can you make sure to have an extra headset? You got to.
We got two for every game. I've even called ahead to all the schools. I said, hey, and this is where Jim for the kids. I said, if you've got a youngster that's into television broadcast for some reason that wants to get into this business. They can join me for a quarter. There's 4 of them. Each does a quarter. That's where you really get the insight too. Like Chris, Jake just broke up with Wendy, so he's.
Hey, Chris, I'm surprised Jake's playing tonight because I saw him out last night drinking down at the park, and he was pretty shit faced.
Well, it was funny. Fucking after the show last week, somebody texted me and they're like, "You and Heward would have been sponsored by Boone's Wine." I'm like, "Well, first off, that would have been illegal."
Boone's, big Boone's, jeez,
Boone's Farm. Yeah,
I know. Boone. Hey, can we? Before you go, I'd like to do this with you on Fridays. Hey, Chris, Jim, and I, as we wrap it up, we do a little in other news segment where it's just some sports stories, real quick, that we haven't touched on. Is that okay? You got to go.
No, I'm good. Okay.
All right. And before we go, this is a crazy story. There's this catcher for the Orioles who has just been called up recently. His name is Samuel. I'm going to butcher the last name. Basalo. He has already finalized an 8-year, $67 million contract. He's been in the majors for 4 games. He just turned 20. I think it was like 9 days ago. He's a number 4 overall prospect in baseball. AAA, he murdered it. 270, 377, 589, 23 home runs in 76 games. He's only played 4 games with the Orioles. He's a catcher, by the way, and they have a good one, Adley Rutschman, although he just went on the IL. But this kid's going to play first base and DH. How about this guy? 4 games into his major league career, he's already set for life. $67 million. Damn.
Wow.
Not crazy.
And you know what? I bet his parents aren't saying, "Hey, Egan, we're kind of upset that our kid just played baseball every day."
And that's all this kid did was play baseball every single day. All right, this next one, I want you both to attempt to say this guy's name. The Boston Red Sox are calling up today one of their top prospects, their outfield prospect. His nickname, and you'll understand why, is the password. Try to pronounce his name. Do you see? Can you see it?
Jonathan Nixon.
So you say it again, Jim. How do you think?
Justin Nixon.
Yeah, you're good. I think it's Jostin.
Jostins is aren't they a jewelry place? Jostins?
Yeah, I think so. So you're going, Jim. You go again. Justin Garcia.
Justin Nixon. Is there an X in there?
Yeah, there's an X. JHOSTYNXON. Look at that name. Isn't that great?
Never seen that. I wonder what the
His
he'll go by
is
Josh or Jose, won't he?
Or X.
Good looking kid.
JX. I like JX.
Well, on Baseball Reference, it has it. I think is Jostinson or something.
Jostinson.
Like I don't know. That's why everyone just calls him the password. That's it. That's why everyone. All right, now this one. This is going to be a little off color. This next one. Okay, and I got one more after this. According to a news outlet in China, the country is working and is close to designing a robot with an artificial womb that will be able to carry a fetus for up to 10 months before giving birth. If all goes well with testing, the pregnancy robot is going to debut next year for roughly the cost of $14,000. It would replace the human surrogate, and that human surrogate usually runs between $100,000 and $200,000. So a robot with the capability to birth a child. This is
I'm
Terminator.
out on that.
This is
I'm
Terminator.
out.
You know this is Skynet is happening, right?
Yeah,
We're all
I know.
aware.
This is-
We know that Terminator is happening, that it's going to happen soon.
This is where you need to send somebody back in time and find that person.
We need to send this person back in time and end it all. So we're out on that one, right?
Out on that, yeah.
Completely
Double thumbs down.
A pregnancy robot. God, do we need that? I don't think we do.
No,
All right, finally,
no.
I'm going to give you some good news. Good news and other news. Good news on two people that we really enjoy. All right. First is our good friend Todd Milles. He's got a new venture called Varsity Washington. It's devoted to covering high school sports in the state. You can follow him on X at Varsity Wa News. Plus, he's got a brand new website, varsitywa.substack.com. A brand new website devoted just to high school sports. And Todd,
One of the best.
like Egan, like John Manley, one of the best in covering local high school sports. We all love Todd. So
He's
good luck to
good.
Todd.
Very good.
Todd's just the absolute best, a fellow Coug. I had so many good times with him when we covered the Masters together, and during rain delays, we'd see how many beers we could drink. And yeah, Todd's just terrific. Has nothing to do with what I just love the guy, and I'm rooting for him. I plan to sign up and do whatever I need to do, give him my Visa card, whatever. But I just absolutely love Todd Milles.
Jim, no offense to you, but he's Ed Egan's, as we honor Ed Egan's 60th anniversary, Ed Egan's favorite writer.
Is he?
Because Ed would say, Todd Milles is the only one that gives me updates on Ryan Moore.
He does have Ryan Moore updates, doesn't he?
He does do a lot of Ryan Moore updates. He's always
You know how much money I lost betting on Ryan Moore over the years? Good Lord. I mean, God bless Ryan Moore in the career that he had, but he didn't win as much as I thought he would.
Yeah. Finally, another piece of news on someone that we enjoy very much. Today is the release of the Mayor IPA at Georgetown Brewery. Ian,
God, what an honor, really, to have
Ian
be a Coug and have a beer named after him with a hat to go
Ian
with
will
it.
be hosting his. Apparently, he still has a radio show. I didn't know. He's hosting his show at the brewery today, starting at 1:00. The proceeds of the Mayor IPA benefit the Jordan Morris Foundation, Avery Huffman DIPG Foundation, and the Helinski's Hope Foundation. It's a great cause, a great beer. Best to Ian, the release of the beer today, and a great job there by Georgetown Brewery.
I didn't know who he was, Puck, until the Kraken pregame, postgame shows came out. And he's fantastic. I love this guy.
He's really good. Yeah,
He's good.
Really,
He needs to do some more TV stuff. Maybe get a radio show. He's really good.
Well, he'd be good on the radio. He'd be really good on the radio.
He would be good.
All right, we took up too much of your time today. I'm sorry, boys. Great show. Jim, what are your plans for the weekend? Golf?
Yeah, well, no golf. We got some visitors in town. Our nephew is celebrating his 40th birthday, so we're going to see Mount Joy tonight. They're in concert. I've never heard of them, but apparently they're probably really good. And then float in the river tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Can never get enough of that float in the river thing.
You
it's just,
can't.
it's an hour and a half where you're just sitting there having beers and doing nothing.
Jim, and a floater, just expert floating knowledge from somebody that's been floating a long time of his life, down to Grants Pass days when I worked down there to the Leavenworth River. Have an extra floaty for your cooler.
Oh, there's a built-in cooler in the floaty that I got.
Oh,
he's raised the bar.
Yeah.
Raised the bar.
Beautiful.
As you're sitting, right, and the best thing about floating down the river is you're drinking all these beers, you're floating down the river, and you're just the free flow of pee as you're going down the river as well.
Yeah,
just knowing that it's just
at any moment you can.
I just think there's such a moment of freedom floating that Deschutes River on a nice hot day, drinking a nice cold beer, and you're just looking down and you're peeing, and you're like, this is what freedom is like.
I actually did that the last time.
Of course, everyone does.
I felt that backfired in Loreto, Mexico, on me as I was doing that, laying in the water and peeing, and then all of a sudden, I was swarmed by fish.
Oh well, that's bad.
I didn't like that feel.
I bet not.
All right, boys, have a great weekend. Egan, we'll see you tomorrow. King, we see tonight and tomorrow. King 5. Uh-oh.
It was good. I was good the entire show, and then for some reason, it finally a phone came.
We see it tonight on the TV.
I'm
tomorrow?
off tonight, celebrating mom and dad tonight. I'll be back on tomorrow and Sunday, and then all next week as well. So the vacation, I've been told, is over.
Wow.
It is. I'll be going nonstop up until the Olympics in Italy, which you can watch coming up, and the Super Bowl on King 5 TV, everyone.
And the NBA returns too on King 5, and the Kraken, and whatever, and the big
high
game of the
school
week.
streaming, and the big game, and don't forget the Prep Zone coming up every Thursday as well.
All right, boys, we'll see you next week. Bye, Jim.
Good night.
Bye,
All right,
Chris.
go Cougs. See ya.
Go Cougs. There they are. Chris Egan, Jim Moore with us on Fridays here on the Daily Puck Drop. All right, this is our last visit. Our last visit of the baseball season, as we're off next week for a little R&R, and then the week after that, we are ramping up our football coverage with the start of really college football and the NFL season. So it's our last chance to talk to the scout who we've been talking to every Friday throughout the baseball season. Real scoop on the Mariners and baseball from our anonymous baseball scout has been joining us. Again, every single week, has been covering the sport for the past 30 years. On this week's final show, we cover all the prospects. Who's the next one to be called up? Harry Ford, the timeline for LSU pitcher Cade Anderson, excitement over Ryan Sloan, and also, is there a position switch in the future for second baseman Michael Arroyo? Enjoy this week's edition of The Scout. Bittersweet Friday, because this is our last visit of the year with the scout who's been joining us all year long throughout the baseball season, giving us the real scoop on the M's in baseball from our anonymous baseball scout who currently works for a Major League Baseball team, has been covering the sport for the past 30 years. You can hear it in the background. He's at an airport going to cover something else in this wild, wild world of baseball. Scout, I'm going to miss you. Don't change over the winter, please.
I will not. Well, I can't tell you I'll change too much, but I'm going to change my body. I'm going to start working out more. That's the only thing I can. That's the only thing I can guarantee.
That's going to be your off-season routine. We could all work out more,
Yes.
Scout. I thought on this last edition that we've been talking, all year long about the Mariners and then their prospects and just different storylines going around in baseball. I wanted to start or just end it this week with looking at the prospects, guys that are on the next horizon for the Mariners, and looking at guys that maybe even, a couple, 2-3 years away. I think I know where you're going to go with this, but I ask it anyways. The next prospect for the Mariners to make their debut, who is that in your opinion?
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, because sometimes, with the situation Puck that the Mariners in, the September call-ups are a little bit different, than let's just say. And when you get a September call-up, you get a big league debut, but it's kind of, you're not the guy that's going to play there all the time, right? But you're just going to, at this point. So really, I'm not sure. I don't know what they're going to do because, like I said, they got the expanded rosters, but then you've got to shrink them back down for the playoffs. So, it's just they've got a lot of options, to be completely honest with you.
I guess more so from a point of view of not so much the September call-ups. I'm just saying, who's the next guy to make who's the next guy to break through? Is it obvious as Colt Emerson? Like, who's the next Cole Young?
I think Emerson's a year and a half away. I think, but he's close, right? I mean, the thing about with some of those young prospects, you don't bring them up to sit every day, right? You want them to play every single day. So the only next guy that kind of going to get called up is got to be an everyday type guy. So I'm not sure if Emerson will be ready next year, but he's right there. I think Montez, I think Laz is an option too, as well as him and Arroyo are both solid guys at AA. But they're going to have to put up obviously good numbers. But I think those three guys are probably right in the mix for maybe the next position player guy call up.
Yeah, because for people who don't know, J.P. Crawford is under contract for one more year, so it doesn't seem like that they'll make a move with J.P. But again, things could happen there. Obviously, in the off season, that they could do something and make a move there with J.P. Crawford. But we do think that Colt Emerson probably gets a taste, a little bit of it next year. Then probably by 2027 that Colt Emerson, it sounds like, is, at least if he continues on this path, Scout, that Colt Emerson is the everyday shortstop in 27.
Yeah, I would believe if I was a betting man, I bet you Emerson, if he plays good next year at AA, AAA, he'll be the September call up, and then that following year he'll have a shot at being the everyday guy with obviously JP being the incumbent, but it's kind of that natural progression. Sometimes you get guys signed and you got to trade guys away, kind of like the potentially like with Harry Ford is like you've got Cal there for long term, so he's a guy that maybe could be on the trading block. I don't see Emerson be on the trading block because, like I said, I think next year would kind of be JP's, not a swan song, but getting towards his career. Orange shoes.
All right, Laz Montez. We've talked a lot about Laz Montez, the right fielder. He draws comparisons, obviously, to Yordan Alvarez by just how he looks and how he plays. Can you see a possibility that he gets a taste of it next season with this team?
Yeah, he'd have. Well, right now these guys, the Montez and the Royals of the world, remember said they're at AA, and that's the big jump. AA is sometimes people will say AA is better than AAA. So if he's making a bunch of contact and if he happens to be hitting, he's got hitting the ball of the yard, that'll give him a chance. But I could see that next year for sure. He's a really, really talented guy. He brings something to the batter's box that not a lot of guys can bring because he's got elite power.
How's the defense, Scout?
Better than you think, to be completely honest, because he's a big guy. He actually reminds me, a little bit of Julio, because when I saw Julio in Everett, he was not the runner or the body type that he is now. I kind of thought that he was going to be a right fielder with a big arm, but Julio's body got better and he got faster. Montez done that too a little bit. He's a bigger guy than Julio, and he's not as athletic as Julio, but he's more of an athlete than you think. So, but he's still going to be that right field profile.
Yeah. Harry Ford has been. We haven't even brought up Harry Ford yet. What do you think their plans moving forward are for Harry Ford? Is he the backup catcher next season?
Yeah, I think so because because he can. I could see the offensive player that he is. I could see him catching occasionally, and then obviously saving Cal and Cal catching. I could see Cal catching 70% of the time, 80% of the time, and then DH when he's not playing, and then I could see Harry doing the opposite, where Harry would be catching 20% of the time and then DHing. But if I was a betting man, I bet you Harry Ford's in another uniform.
And so, okay, you still think that they would try and trade him in the offseason. And do you think there's ever this idea of trying him out at a different position?
Yeah, there is. I mean, but right now he's solid at a premium position. It's hard to find offensive players at premium positions like catcher and center field, shortstop, right? So they're going to stick there as long as they can. Especially if they feel like he can be an everyday catcher, not a lot of people have those guys with his type of athleticism. So he's more valuable on the trade block if he stays behind the plate.
Do you think Cade Anderson, the kid out of LSU, is at some point in that Mariners rotation next year?
Potentially late, but probably more of a September call-up. I think if he was in another organization, that could happen. The Mariners are really, really good on the mound, and they've got a ton of starting pitching. So it's tough to break into that rotation. But I think of everybody in the draft this year, I thought that Cade Anderson's closest to the big leagues. I don't think he has the biggest ceiling, but I think he had the highest floor. So I think he was obviously the safest pick. And I know that of some of the conversations I've had with some of my contacts that the Mariners couldn't have been more ecstatic when he was looking at them at pick 3, because even though he didn't go 1, nobody thought he'd go back picks 2, and then he went to 3. So the Mariners, for me, the Mariners got the best guy in the draft.
Hey, Scout, it's not a prospect question. I mean, he once was a prospect. I'm curious that the Mariners this week have tried something to maybe get some more arms in their bullpen. Emerson Hancock pitched an inning of relief this week for Tacoma. Was touching 97 on the gun. Could you see that as a temporary move just for this year, or something that they could investigate long term with him?
Well, a little bit of both. That was exciting to hear because I've seen him numerous times, and he's solid. He just, as a starter, sometimes we use the words like vanilla. He's good. Like, he throws multiple pitches for strikes. He's what you're looking for, but he never has that big velo when he's starting. So I think he's a really great, valuable piece in the 7th, 8th inning, but he has those starting traits. So if they lose some guys get hurt, he can go in the rotation, or he could be that guy too that someone trades for because they feel like he's an everyday guy rotation. I just think it's the team that you're on. He's a potentially spot in the bullpen with the Mariners just because the Mariners are so good on the mound.
What is the future of Michael Arroyo because he's right now blocked by a very good second baseman in Cole Young?
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of in a situation, to be honest with you, kind of like I look at as him as a really, really good player. Cole could actually play some short, even though I think he plays second. Michael, for me, is just a second base only type guy. If he's not playing second base, he's probably playing left field. So if the Mariners really believe in the bat, I could see them. Well, he asked about could you see Harry Ford making a position move? I see that more with Arroyo if he stays with the Mariners because I just think he's got guys ahead of him there blocking him.
And left field would be the spot, you think?
Yeah, I think he could probably play some third base. He was known as a shortstop second baseman, but for me, he's a guy that could be a fringy average defender at second. So, and short's much more difficult to play. But, he's maybe can bring a little bit of that utility too as well where, he can play certain positions in a pinch, kind of like a Dylan Moore, but with more offensive capabilities, obviously.
Probably a couple years away, but a lot of people are excited that follow the minors about Ryan Sloan, the big right-hander, 6'5", 220 pounds. Thoughts on the big guy?
Yeah, he's fantastic. I really thought he would be one of those guys that they'd lose in the trade this year before the trade deadline. I think the Mariners did a fantastic job of, retooling their lineup, but they didn't get rid of their big time prospects. Sloan was the guy that was kind of linked to everybody that, to be gone. But they kept him. So I could definitely see him being in the rotation, not next year, but the following year, or he's maybe that power arm guy that can, pitch late in the ball games.
All right, well, go catch your flight, Scout, and we'll talk to you down the road. I appreciate you doing this every single week. I hope our audience has enjoyed it, just getting some of the behind-the-scenes feel and look and sounds of what it's like to cover this sport and getting the Scout perspective. Thank you so much for doing it. Best for the off season. Catch up on your sleep. Reacquaint yourself with your family.
I will, Puck. Thanks so much for having me. And if, let's say, those Mariners go on a great run and maybe a postseason World Series run, we can get back together, get you in the fall.
We'll touch base. All right. Thank you, Scout. Talk to you down the road.
Buddy.
There he is, the Scout, again with us every single Friday. We appreciate his visits, getting just the behind-the-scenes look and feel for the Mariners and the rest of Major League Baseball. And some good stuff there on a lot of great players that the Mariners have coming through the system. I mean, obviously we're focused in on what's happening right now with the big league club, but good stuff there on Cade Anderson and Emerson Hancock. A big fan of that one. Michael Arroyo. We talked a lot about Michael Arroyo with Mitch, just in terms of, what his future would be. He's a second baseman. He's blocked by Cole Young right now. Could he be making a position switch, maybe perhaps there to left field? But good stuff there from the Scout. I hope everyone has enjoyed it as much as I did throughout the year, and we'll see if we can have him on back next year. And once kind of baseball gets back going. But again, we got football starting, so we got to pay a little bit more attention there on Fridays there with the football season getting underway. All right, we've got Hey What the Puck that's coming up here shortly. One thing I do want to do, and try to do this every Friday if we can, is just promote all the kind of the stuff that we've been having on throughout the week. That is part of the Puck's Posse membership. And again, you can just go to pucksports.com to sign up, because we've got, not only when you sign up for that, you're supporting just Puck Sports and the Daily Puck Drop and everything that we're doing here. But in addition to that, we give you bonus shows that only members can get. No one can get the full shows unless you sign up for $5 a month, or you get a discount if you sign up for a year. Thursdays, we have, it's always the KJ Arntz with myself and Mitch Levin. We were all over the place yesterday. We talked a little Mariners, a little Julio, the Beatles. And Mitch told a great story about one of his former producers, a hilarious story about CJ Silas, how they were on remote during the finals, Sonics and Bulls. He couldn't find her. She said she was meeting a friend, but she ended up not meeting the friend.
I get CJ Silas into the studio at some point, maybe 7 or 7:30, and we're talking about sports and whatever. And I said, hey, by the way, You never wrapped up. What the hell happened in Chicago a few months ago? Who'd you run into? And I get her to start telling the tale again. And as she's telling the tale, I tap my nose. And Rockstar Bob starts playing. He doesn't even know why I'm doing it.
No idea.
He has no idea. And he starts playing, dancing on the ceiling.
What was her face? How red was her face?
Oh, it was beautiful. It was the most beautiful sight to behold.
Moment she knows she's caught red freaking handed.
Yeah.
And she has been bearing herself for weeks. So the story, they got to listen to more of the KJ Arns from this week with Mitch. In the story is that she lied to Mitch and said, hey, I can't make it. I can't make it to the show. I'm meeting a friend, and I got caught up in meeting with the friend. Sorry about that. But then he was watching Oprah, and she was on Oprah in the crowd, and they were playing Lionel Richie, Dancing on the Ceiling. And that's when Mitch saw her and said, oh, you couldn't make it because you were at Oprah's show, and that's why you couldn't make it in. So that's this week's KJ Arndt's episode there with Mitch Levy. Again, airs every Thursday. It's live during the Thursday shows, but then once it's over, you can only watch it or listen to it if you sign up to become a Pucks Posse member at pucksports.com. Also, Ryan Divish from this week, Inside Pitch. There with Ryan Divish, our MLB Insider show, of course, from the Seattle Times. Divish, again, joins us every single Wednesday. And we talked about the suspension of Victor Robles and just kind of the confusing nature surrounding the suspension, when he can play and when he can't play.
And I'm not exactly clear on all of it, but from what I was told is that like a suspension for in-game fighting or an incident like this is different than a PED suspension because that occurs off the field, or, the Wander Franco situation, which, really occurs God knows where. But so those are different levels of suspension. But when you are suspended for like fighting, or if you had an altercation with an umpire or something like that, you have to play a man down. You don't get to bring a guy up. And so and that's why. And you're right. It's because he threw the bat. If he goes out to the mound and confronts the guy and tries to fight the guy with his fists, he probably gets 2 games. To appeal it down to 1 game, it's not that big of a deal. But he threw his bat.
The full, again, Inside Baseball or MLB Insider show there with Divish, available, again, at pucksports.com. Sign up to become a member. You can watch and listen to the full shows. We do a deep dive into the Mariners every single week. Comes out on Wednesdays. We give you a sneak preview there of the show on Wednesdays. But, again, a lot of great content. Again, if it's for you, great. If it's not, totally understand. But, again, if you want bonus shows that we do every single week with KJ Arntz, with Mitch, our MLB Insider show with Divish, the Sports Pit. We were off this week. We'll be back on Tuesday. Sports Pit with Steve Sandmeyer, Matt Stretch Johnson. I encourage you to go to pucksports.com, sign up to become a Pucks Posse member. The QR code also, if you're streaming the show, will take you there as well. All right, before we wrap up a Friday show, we've got to do Hey, What the Puck, which is brought to you by one of our fabulous sponsors. And, of course, have been with us for a very, very long time. Restoration One of North Seattle. It's your restoration company. Lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, and mold damage with their property restoration services. Locally owned and operated. Make them your first call when those damages affect your residential or commercial property. 206-817-8917. Visit them online at restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise. Going back to that Seahawks-Packers brawl that we talked about a little bit with Egan and Moore. Meant to cover that a little bit more extensively at the beginning of the show. Again, I understand it. They're fun, and it's a great way to get some live action and all of that. But 2 years, and I don't mean to be this wet blanket, but it's 2 years in a row where they've almost brawls are happening left and right. And Devin Witherspoon and Ernest Jones, that wasn't just a pushing and shoving thing yesterday. And they're lucky no one got hurt, because that thing kept going and going and going, and it was extending, and we get punches being thrown. And all it takes is one of those guys to throw a punch and all of a sudden breaks his hand or something else happens. And you got 2 starters, or one of your 2 starters, that are out. Ernest Jones has been battling, an injury, has been nicked up a little bit. You lose him. You cannot afford, you can't afford to lose any of them. You cannot afford to lose Ernest Jones. Can't afford it. There is a line as an NFL head coach from Mike McDonald that you can take it up to. And this is the reason why a lot of coaches don't do this. Now, there's some that do. But there's a lot there's a reason a lot of coaches do not do this, because of this very reason, because you've been spending all camp going against each other and you're sick of seeing the same guys. You want to hit somebody else. You want to get after somebody else. You do, and it leads to that. And if they're not careful, one of these years, if they continue to do this, is they're going to lose a guy and they are going to get crucified for doing it. And they are just so damn lucky that Devin Witherspoon and Ernest Jones throwing punches didn't land on someone's helmet. And all of a sudden we're talking about, well, broken hand, broken wrist. He's out for extended period of time. So they will finish up their preseason tomorrow. Will the Seahawks against the Packers? Jalen Milroe will start the entire game. And again, minus the brawl, sounds like everything was great from yesterday. It sounded like the offense did well, that Sam Darnold and JSN have continued to build on their training camp chemistry. And it was apparent yesterday during that Packers game. It was great to see Ken Walker get a lot of carries and be physical. That's what kind of led to the brawl anyways. Definitely Jalen Sundell is going to be the starter because Oluwatimi was back, but Sundell's working with the ones. I'm a little concerned. Sounds like McDonald's a little concerned as well with Torrey Horton and his ankle injury that he suffered against the Chiefs game. He said, quote, we're optimistic about where he's at. He's got 2 weeks, but definitely shared some concern. Maybe he won't be ready for that first game there of the season. And also good news that Charles Cross was able to practice in full contact yesterday. But again, the brawl's it's not worth it. Not worth it anymore. All right. Not worth it to lose a starter off these joint practice scrimmages, which just turn physical, and there's always a fight. And it's not just the Seahawks, it's every joint practice that all these NFL teams have. There's always a fight. And there is a line you want to take it up to where you get physical and all that, and you're pushing and shoving, but not when punches are thrown. And they would admit that. And I think McDonald even talked about it a little bit yesterday. All right, that is Hey What the Puck, brought to you by Restoration One of North Seattle. Let them help you avoid all the stress of water, fire, and mold damage with their property restoration services. They're locally owned and operated. Again, make them a first call when those damages affect your residential or commercial property. 206-817-8917. Visit them at restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise. Quickly, off next week. We'll have shows Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but off Thursday, Friday for extended Labor Day. We won't be here on Labor Day as well. So again, next week off Thursday and Friday, and then Labor Day off, and then we ramp it up September 2nd on Tuesday. And we're right into football, basketball, baseball. This is the craziest time for a sports fan. It's also the best time. So just a little heads up on some of the scheduling that's coming up, and we'll see more football coverage come in. All of our daily shows that we're doing. Rob Staten is back again with us. Michael Shandugar is back with us. We've added Bob Condotta on Fridays. I'm going to be missing someone. John Canzano, we already know, is here. Garofolo. Troy Wins is going to be back talking gambling with us. I know I'm forgetting somebody, and it's going to kill me. So we'll be jam-packed, especially in September, in October, with just a ton of content. Thank you for watching and listening today. Big thanks to all of our sponsors. As always, Lindback Lumber, A Clean Streak, Brotherton Cadillac, Georgetown Brewery. Check out their new tavern beer and all their beers at georgetownbeer.com. And check out the Mayor of IPA released today with Ian starting at 1 o'clock. Also, Restoration One. Today's Daily Puck Drop, find it up on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel. Also, find the Daily Puck Drop on your favorite podcast platforms and, of course, up at pucksports.com. When you're there, please sign up to become a member of the Pucks Posse. $5 a month. You support all the free content. In addition, you get bonus shows like our baseball coverage with Ryan Divish, Sports Spit with Sandy and Stretch, KJ Arntz with Mitch, and be sure to check out the Graz with Gas Take 5 podcast, which we now produce. New episodes every Monday on YouTube and all podcast platforms. And, of course, you can find everything up at pucksports.com. All right, everybody, enjoy the weekend. We'll see you on Monday, bright and early at 10 a.m. Until then, as always, promise to be better.
No shoes, no ties.
Would anybody like to smoke some pot?
Yeah.
I was born to love you. I was born to lick your face. I was born to rub you. But you were born to rub me first.
What do you need my address for? We'd like to send out a mailer.
Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese!